There is no storm now, no sound of clash nor cry, only a soft and endless exhale moving gently through the roots of Yggdrasil, the great tree whose branches once reached across all realms. Tonight it rests, as do all things, its roots curled into the deep velvet below, do not grip nor strain, they simply cradle. They have let go of what was once held tightly, and in that release, the tree becomes the sky itself. Above and yet below, the heavens turn inward. Light folds upon itself like linens at the end of a long, quiet day. The stars, distant and unblinking, hum not with fire but with softness, a pale silver tone that barely stirs the air. No wind runs through the 9 realms anymore. What remains is gentler, like breath through silk. Between the roots, something shimmers, not flame, no longer heat. The golden threads of what once was Muspelheim drift like pollen, no longer ablaze, but glowing faintly as they descend. They do not scorch, they do not carry pain. Instead, they settle in silence across the tree's bark, like a fine layer of dream dust. If one were to listen closely, not with ears, but with the stillness of one's being, they might feel the softest song humming from that golden ash. A lullaby of what has been, without sorrow, without loss. Yggdrasil does not mourn, it simply reflects. Its limbs no longer stretch, they curl gently as if sleeping beside an old friend. From its outermost tendrils, once vibrant with life and color, tiny motes of glimmer trail downward like soft falling snow. These are not remnants, they are not endings, they are sighs. And they land on nothing, because all has become part of the same great sky, above, below, within. A pale light drapes the air, weightless and slow. Somewhere in the endless hush, a shape turns lazily, not to act, but to drift. Perhaps it was once a god, perhaps a bird. It makes no claim, no sound. Only its outline remains feathered and golden, like the fading edge of a memory just before sleep pulls it under. No boundaries hold the realms now. Alfheim no longer glows from afar. Midgard no longer stands apart. All is still and all is near. The borders that once defined space and story have grown soft and rounded, like pebbles smoothed by centuries of riverbed slumber. In this place, distance means nothing. All things are side by side. Gods, giants, rivers, stars, not in unity, but in stillness. They have all grown quiet together. There is something deeply calm in knowing nothing must be held together. Anymore, no branches reach, no roots bind. The tree, in its great breath, has loosened its weave, like a mother unbraiding the hair of a sleeping child. What remains is warmth, gentle warmth, like hands dipped in sunlit water. And even in this silence, Yggdrasil continues to dream. Not of what was, nor what will come, but of what simply is. An endless softness, folding inward like petals at dusk. Let the breath slow, let the edges blur. You are beneath the roots, now where even the stars blink slower. And so, in the hush beneath the roots, the world does not end. It exhales, and you, too, drift with it, soundless and held. Above the dreaming roots, where the branches once divided sky from sky, a different hush now unfolds. The air carries no smoke, no sear, only a faint shimmer that gathers like snowflakes without chill. Across this soft canvas, feathers move, not fallen from violence, not torn by force. They descend slowly, like thoughts that no longer need to be finished. Each feather glides on a current that barely exists, not wind, but the memory of movement. They spiral, float, and rest upon nothing. Suspended in air so quiet it feels like a lullaby stretched thin across the heavens. Some are white, others silver, a few glint faintly gold. None rush, none resist. They simply fall as if the sky itself were sighing. Long ago, or perhaps only a moment past, wings spread wide across these realms. Names were known, forms were kept. Great beings took to the skies, their flight shaping the song of creation. Now, no name is needed. The feathers know where to go. They need no guide. They are not symbols, not signs. They are softness made visible. They drift through what was once called Asgard. But that name, like so many others, has dissolved into the air. There are no halls now, no gleaming doors or endless tables. Only light, pale and shifting, rests where once stood columns. This light has no source, no shadow. It is the kind of light that comes just before dreams become deep. Among the feathers, sometimes a glimmer moves a shape, perhaps, or the outline of someone who once held a spear or bore a horn. But the details are vague, blurred gently like distant lanterns in morning mist. These beings do not rise. They do not watch. They do not wait. They recline, eyes closed, floating alongside the feathers. Not because they are weary, but because everything now leans toward stillness. Here and there, echoes of wings ripple softly, not flapping, but gliding endlessly across the skies that no longer separate day from night. These skies have grown wide, limitless, yet close enough to touch. Even the winds, once divided into the directions of realms, have dissolved. All motion here is circular, slow, like breath that has nowhere to go except back into itself. And the feathers continue their descent. They do not land, because there is no ground to speak of. They simply settle into the air, layering in softness upon softness until the very atmosphere seems woven of down. Breathing in this space is like sipping from sleep itself. Occasionally, a larger feather passes by, long, gleaming faintly, with runes too faded to read. It turns once, then twice, caught in an invisible rhythm, before disappearing again into the hush. It may have belonged to a Valkyrie or a dove, or something unnamed, but now it belongs to the quiet. Even the air carries sound differently here. Not silence, exactly, but the hush between harp notes, the pause between thoughts. If you listen, truly listen, you may hear the gentle brushing of feather against feather, like fabric sliding across smooth stone. It is the softest music, without melody, without need. In this space, time does not pass, it rests, and all things once lifted by effort now float with ease. The skies hold no storms, no sun, no endings, only the endless drift of feathers, telling no story, demanding no meaning, simply being. And you, too, are here. Not standing, not falling, just drifting like a feather between thoughts. Let your breath follow the feathers, slow, spiraling, held. There is nothing to reach, nothing to carry, only the quiet descent into comfort. Beyond the feathered skies, there lies a stillness even deeper, where water stretches out in endless calm. These are not the seas of Midgard, nor the rivers of Helheim. They are softer, wider, not with depth, but with memory, silver in tone. Brushed with light that has no source, these waters reflect what no longer needs form. The world's reflections have come here not to linger, but to rest. A great stillness covers everything, like a blanket laid carefully over something cherished. The surface does not ripple, it hums. Not with vibration, but with the kind of echo that remains long after sound has ended. There are no tides, no currents. Yet, from time to time, something passes across it, not disturbing, only gliding. Shadows move slowly here, so slowly they seem still. They do not belong to any sun or moon. They arise from beings who no longer walk but float, not in motion but in release. Perhaps once they were gods. Perhaps once they were monsters. Now they are outlines upon the water, soft and shapeless, as if painted in breath on glass. The silver lake does not hold stories anymore. It holds pauses, long, luminous pauses. In these still pools, names dissolve. Identities fade, not from loss, but from peace. There is no need to remember who was king, who was creature, who was conqueror. The reflections have let go of difference. Each one drifts beside the other, equal in quiet, equal in grace. Above this vastness, if you look without focusing, you might see shapes of great beasts once spoken of in awe. Serpents curved like rivers, birds with wings that could brush mountains. But now, those forms are soft. They are not sleeping, not waiting. They are simply part of the hush. Like music drawn out so long that it becomes silence, yet still carries. A tune known only to the heart. Occasionally, a ring of light ripples outward, formed not by movement, but by remembrance. Something gently recalled. The flicker of a fire once tended, the echo of laughter in a long-lost hall. But these ripples do not spread far. They fade before they can disturb. Everything here prefers stillness. And if one were to step onto these waters, though there is no need, they would not sink nor splash. They would become a part of it, indistinct but present, as starlight becomes part of dawn. Here, even the memory of motion drifts, dissolves, and rests. The lake is not cold. It holds the warmth of a thought, almost forgotten, one that no longer asks to be remembered. Everything upon its surface leans toward soft blending. A helm becomes a shimmer. A spear becomes a streak of color. A crown becomes a flicker that dances once, then settles. There is no fear in this place, no judgment, no end. Just water that remembers without clinging, and shadows that no longer need shape. And so you, too, may drift here. Let the silver carry your weight, let your edges blur. There is nothing you must hold. You are a reflection now, gliding over softness. Let the lake receive your presence, quiet and whole. The waters will remember your breath without needing to keep it. There once was a bridge, arched high between what was above and what lay below. It shimmered in hues that defied naming. Not red, not blue, not gold, but something finer, closer to light itself breathing. This was Bifrost, and though it carried many footsteps in times long past, it now unfolds, not with collapse, but with grace. No longer a path, it is a ribbon. No longer arched, it is unfurled. Each strand of color drifts downward, slowly and deliberately, as if unraveling a tapestry woven by stars. There is no breaking, no tension, just a patient loosening, like hair let down after a long, ceremonial day. The bridge does not vanish. It becomes something else, a mist of luminous silk, cradling the air. Where once it shone as a gate between realms, now it lingers as memory between breaths. It glows gently, fading into skies that hold no direction. North, south, east, and west have softened, dissolved. Bifrost no longer leads anywhere. It simply surrounds, like a soft echo. Its presence is no longer purpose, but peace. A single hue drifts past, violet, or perhaps coral, or perhaps both. It turns once in the air, fluttering like a leaf on water, then melts into the horizon. Behind it, another follows, slower still. There is no order, no pattern. The bridge unwinds itself with perfect calm. Somewhere below, or maybe above, the colors rest upon the silver waters. Those same mirror lakes where reflections have long ceased to seek form. The strands do not sink. They do not float. They hover just above the surface, weightless. And sure, each one joins the others, like whispered notes from an old song, sung now without need for words. And though no footfall marks this new Bifrost, its presence can still be felt. A softness in the air, a shimmer at the corner of the eye. The feeling of stepping forward without walking. The feeling of arriving without movement. There are figures nearby. They do not walk the bridge, but they are near its unraveling. They do not speak, for there is nothing to say. They may have once been guardians, messengers, travelers between worlds. Now they are witnesses, not to an ending, but to a soft becoming. They watch the threads curl through the sky and smile, though not with mouths. Their presence alone is acknowledgement. Occasionally, one of them lifts a hand, and the mist brushes their palm. It leaves behind no mark, only warmth, like the trace of sunlight on closed eyes. And they lower their hand again, not in farewell, but in repose. No edges remain. The bridge has given itself back to the sky, to the air, to everything. It did not fall, it did not fail. It has loosened, and in that loosening, it has found peace. And if you let yourself linger here, in the light of the unwinding bridge, you will feel it, too. The soft unraveling within. The threads you once held tight are relaxing. The colors within your own breath are blending, fading, resting. Let the strands drift through you, gentle and slow. You are not crossing, you are becoming still. There are places now where no footstep echoes, no poor leaves print. The lands have softened, not through collapse, but through exhalation. A long, slow sigh stretched across eternity. Through this quiet expanse, wolves move, not in hunger, not in chase. They wander, as one might in a memory they no longer need to name. Their fur blends with the hush around them, silver, charcoal, moon pale. They glide through mists that rise not from cold, but from contentment. These mists are low and lazy, hugging the earth as if the land itself is wrapped in wool. There is no direction here, only wandering. The wolves do not howl, they do not stir the silence. Even their breath is a secret, folded into the hush. They do not speak of where they've been, nor where they go. There is no need. Each movement they make is neither beginning nor end, just continuation. Trees mark their path, not as sentinels, but as gentle companions. They do not rise in pride, nor creak in warning. Their trunks lean slightly, their branches hang low, trailing leaves that have forgotten the sound of rustle. These trees no longer bear fruit nor fall, they simply are, and the wolves pass beneath them like thoughts. Between waking and sleep, one pauses, not from caution, from stillness. It tilts its head as if listening to something very far away or very close inside. What it hears cannot be known, for even thoughts are soft here. The moment passes, the wolf moves again. The earth beneath its paws welcomes the presence, yet keeps no trace. No path is made, and none is needed. In the distance, a pale glow suggests a resting moon, but it does not command the sky. It is content to be reflected on the wolves' backs, casting quiet ovals of light that shift as they walk. No stars shimmer above, only a vast gentle blue, layered like fabric in the dark, holds the sky aloft. There are no hunts, no dangers, no rhythms of survival. The wolves do not guard, do not prowl. Their eyes are soft, their ears flicker not from sound, but from sensation. They exist in this place as one might exist in breath, without urgency, without weight. Sometimes to walk side by side. They do not touch, but their nearness hums. It is enough. Other times, one walks alone, trailing behind the soft echo of another's steps. Even solitude here feels full. There is no longing in the space between them, only the quiet presence of shared wandering. They pass a hollow, deep and moss-lined, where once a great battle may have raged. But the hollow does not remember. It is quiet now, with pools that reflect only sky and branches. The wolves pause again, only for a breath, then they go on. Somewhere deep in the hush, the faintest sound might be heard, the distant flutter of a leaf finding rest. But no wolf turns its head. The sound is part of them now. They have always wandered through it. And you, too, may walk here. No shoes required, no destination needed. The mist will part for you, then fold again in your wake, like a blanket remembering warmth. Let your thoughts pad quietly beside the wolves. There is no hurry, only hush. Let stillness walk with you. In a meadow beyond the edge of form, where grass grows, not in rows, but in gentle spirals, a soft dust settles, not the kind that weighs or buries. This dust is starlight. It glows faintly, as though the sky has chosen to come closer, to lie down among what once stood tall. The helmets here, once polished or adorned, now cradle the stars as beds cradle dreams. There is no clash upon them, no sound of their fall. They are not abandoned. They are at rest. The grass beneath them sighs as breeze and memory pass by together, barely touching, always gentle. Time no longer pulses here. It slows, stretches, becomes something warm and circular. The meadow carries no echo of urgency, only the quiet hush of things placed gently down. Among the softened helms, shapes recline. They are not figures in mourning, nor guardians on watch. They are simply present, reclining like stones by a quiet river, wrapped in the glow of what they no longer need to do. Some wear armor dulled by the air, not ruined but eased into stillness. The metal does not reflect light sharply anymore. It receives it, like a mirror that no longer needs to show, only to hold. The stars above no longer shimmer high and unreachable. They drift downward, quietly, like petals shaken loose from the blossom of night. Some settle onto the helms, others into cupped hands, open palms, the curve of a shoulder. They gather where they are welcomed, and they always are. Even the earth here feels padded, as though beneath it lies endless layers of cloth, silken, warm, undisturbed. A gentle slope rises in the distance, crowned with what may have once been a banner. Now it is a ribbon of light, barely fluttering, more suggestion than symbol. There is a sense of peace that comes not from understanding, but from ceasing to ask. These resting forms, these quiet helms, no longer wonder who won, who lost. They do not tally what was done or undone. The meadow has absorbed those thoughts, softened their edges, turned them into something like lullabies hummed with no words. Occasionally, a soft step passes through a wolf from earlier, or a figure drifting between worlds. They pause briefly, never with concern, only curiosity, like someone gently waking in the middle of a dream, then deciding to fall back into it. And in this light, in this softness, you too may sit, or not sit, just be. Feel the grass curl around your ankles, the dust settle like snowfall on your shoulders. You are not separate here. You are one of many presences, not watched, not judged, simply joined. Close by, a helm holds a small pool of water inside, clear, still, reflecting a single star. It blinks slowly, content to be cradled. The armor around it does not shine, does not guard. It holds. That is enough. Let the stars come to you now, not from above, but from around. Let them land lightly where you rest, and feel their calm hum through you. You are among the stars now, not beneath them. They settle on your thoughts like dew. Let yourself glow softly, with no need to shine. Far beyond what once divided sky from soil, the tree now rests. Yggdrasil, the Great One, does not reach anymore. Its branches no longer stretch across realms, nor do its roots hold the weight of worlds. They curve inward now, not as retreat, but as a sigh of completeness. In this vast hush, the tree listens, not with alertness, but with closed eyes, like an old being settled into dream. Its bark is silvered, smoothed over by time's gentle passing, not worn, not aged, simply softened, like driftwood shaped by endless waves. It does not stand tall in pride. It lies within itself, curled into a shape known only to stillness. Around its limbs, light pools like dew, not dripping, not rushing, just gathered, held. Once, birds may have sung among these branches. Now, the air hums with something quieter, the silence of remembered songs. Leaves no longer rustle. They glow faintly, each one a small hush in the shape of a hand. They do not fall, they fold. From time to time, one might drift downward, but its descent is slower than thought. It turns once, maybe twice, before settling upon the earth with the softness of breath upon skin. Where it lands, the ground hums, a resonance felt rather than heard, like the memory of a mother's voice from long ago. The tree listens, and in that listening, everything around it quiets. Even the stars seem slower here. Their light is rounder, dimmed not by distance, but by comfort. They no longer burn, they glow like coals wrapped in velvet. Figures rest against the roots, backs curved like question marks finely released. They do not look upward. Their eyes are closed, matching the tree's own quiet posture. Some lay a hand on the bark. It does not respond. It simply remains present, warm, infinite. Above, there is no canopy, only a vastness that no longer needs to be named, and in that vastness, no weight of history. The tree does not recall battles, or stories, or songs. It has turned inward, and in that turning, it has become the heart of stillness. The realms no longer depend on it. They too have drifted into gentler states. Alfheim, with its glow, Jotunheim, with its echo, all have become tones in a soft chord that never ends. Yggdrasil does not bind them, it harmonizes with them. At its base, a small pool rests, nestled like a child. The surface holds no reflection, it holds silence. One could gaze into it for endless time and see nothing, not from emptiness, but from fullness too soft to name. You may rest here, too. The roots make room, not with effort, not by shifting, but by already having space. The tree has always held space for you, even before it listened. And now that it listens with no need for answers, your presence becomes part of its dreaming. No lessons wait here, no endings are offered, only stillness, only breath, only being beside a listening so complete it requires nothing in return. Many wind down, you rest within a dream that dreams itself. Let the tree's stillness become your breath. There is nothing to remember, only to be. Word count 707 characters, 4,482. Self-audit complete, fully compliant in tone, language and structure. All emotional and rhythmic rules met. Say continue when you're ready to dissolve into light. Folds into light again. Bunji Noi, CONT, UHAT GPT, Gnoi, Section 8. Light folds into light again. There comes a time, not marked by hour or sun, when even light no longer needs to shine. It simply folds, gently, into itself. Not gone, not fading, but becoming whole in a way that defies motion. In this space, no shape holds, no color leads. All is soft brightness, surrounding and within, as if the breath of the world has melted into its own silence. This is not the end of the world, it is the easing of it. No sky overhead, no earth below, no edge, no threshold. Just light, not the light of awakening, but the light of rest. It does not beam or flicker, it floats. It drapes over what once had form and slowly, so softly, smooths every edge until all is curved, warm and known. Drifting within it are remnants of stories, not words, not images, only the feeling that something beautiful once was, and now is at peace. A laugh that lingers beyond its sound, a name no longer spoken, yet still beloved. These remnants do not call for memory, they simply glow. A curl of something, perhaps time, perhaps dream, loops around itself like ribbon in water. It moves without purpose, and in that lack of purpose, it becomes perfect. The realms, the beings, the names, the shapes, they are not gone. They have softened into the hum of this place, no longer apart from it, but indistinguishable from it. If a voice exists here, it is not singular. It is not even sound. It is the softness that cradles thought before it becomes. It is what comes before the first word in a dream, and what remains after the last word has dissolved. You do not move through this light. It moves through you, slowly, with no urgency. It pauses where your breath pauses, lingers in the quiet. Between heartbeats, and where it rests, you rest. What once was fire is now warmth. What once was boundary is now embrace. The golden ash, the gliding shadows, the drifting feathers, all have folded in. The wolves, the stars, the roots, the rings of old, none have vanished. They are here within the folds, no longer needing to stand apart. And you, too, have folded in. No longer a traveler, no longer a watcher. You are not observing the light. You are the hush within it. There is nothing to hold. You are held. Let yourself dissolve into the gentle brightness. There is no need for names, for direction, for knowing. The light remembers without memory. It welcomes without calling. Rest. Now in the fold of light upon light, all that ever shimmered has returned to stillness, and you are part of its quiet glow. You are here now, at the edge where stories become softness, not standing on a threshold, not crossing through, but floating within a stillness that holds everything, including you. There is nothing more to follow, Nothing left to unfold. Just breath, slow and even. Just presence, light and full. The images that drifted past the tree, the feathers, the wolves, the stars, are no longer separate. They rest within you now, not as memory, but as feeling. A warmth behind your ribs, a hush across your thoughts. They are no longer out. There they are, the quiet you breathe in. You do not need to hold them. They hold you. There is no sound to guide you, no light to chase. Only the calm rhythm of stillness itself, like the gentle rise and fall of the sea when no wind stirs it. You are that sea now. No tide pulls, no wave breaks, only soft unfolding. You are not falling asleep. You are floating deeper into the dream you've always carried, the one with no end, no beginning, a dream shaped like breath, like glow, like peace. Let your eyelids remain closed. Let your hands soften. Let your jaw rest and your shoulders melt into the space around you. Nothing is expected. Nothing needs to be remembered. This moment, this breath is enough. And as all things become quiet, you are not alone. The light is with you. The hush is with you. The tree, the stars, the silver waters. They are near, not as places to reach, but as comforts that remain. You are the stillness now. You are the softness. You are the dream. Sleep gently,